Seahawks out there on the field as training camp rolls on, and sitting here with us on set is the disappearing man. Big Ray Roberts is still big in height, but man, you're slim dude these days.
Yeah, well, I had my yearly physical probably 4 or 5 months ago, and this 5 foot like nothing doctor looked me right in the face and said, "I'm gonna whip you in shape." And I was like, "Okay, I'll beat you to it."
And
so then
he scared you.
Yeah, that's funny. Well, you look great, man,
Thank
and
you.
I'm glad you're in good health. We need you. We need you around for a long time.
Thank you, brother.
Overall, what's your impression been of what you've seen with the O-line?
The first thing I saw was that just the body composition just looked different. Like, some of the young guys last year still kind of had like the college body. Like, you're big, strong dudes, but they didn't seem
formed.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? And like even Bradford, like his body has changed a little bit. He looks a little tighter and firmer and more muscular and things. And so that was like one of the first things I noticed is that they just look more athletic, even though they're not big, huge bruising dudes. But for this offense, that's not exactly the strength of the offense. And so they have guys that are mobile, that can move and play with power and strength. So that was the first thing that I noticed. And then the second thing was just watching them before they got to one-on-ones in the teams drill. I've always said that the way you coach and call plays has everything to do with developing an offensive line as anything else. And so just watching them go through 3 different pass sets. One was just their regular pass sets where they're, dropping at like a 45-degree angle, say for the tackles. And then there's another one where we call it a short set where you're kind of almost going at the defender as if it's a run. But your pads are up a little bit higher, so you can be under control. And so that's kind of a short set. And now there's also one that's called a jump set, where you take 2 steps at the 45, and then you attack the defender. And so the reason I like that, those are tools in your belt to use, in different plays and different, matchups where you know that you can do those different things. That allows you to disrupt the timing of the pass rush. Like last year, it seemed like everybody was setting to the same spot every time. And as a defender, it's easy to game plan for that. Like on my 3rd step or my 2nd inside step, I'm going to swim to the inside. On my 3rd outside step, I'm a bull rush. Like you can time all that stuff up. But when you can disrupt their timing, then it puts the offense in the aggressive spot in pass protection. Because pass protection, for most part, is a passive kind of a situation.
Right. You're
catching and you're reacting to what they're doing. So when you can disrupt their timing, now they have to react to what you're doing. So now they have to think a little bit. They can't just play on instinct. And maybe they're just a hair bit slower coming off the ball. That's going to equate to that much more time to get the ball off.
When you look at this line, do you think that was kind of the memo after OTAs and after they introduced that, hey, we need to be a little bit more mobile as far as, body composition and guys, because you see a lot of the run. I mean, it's almost like they're turning and sprinting to the numbers, right?
Yeah, and this outside, or if you want to call it wide zone stuff they do, you need that. You have to be mobile enough to get out there and execute the blocks. And the thing, when we're watching, even just the way they're teaching the technique so that the defender has the less chance to be right. Mm-hmm. So if you're pulling to trap the outside linebacker and he decides to go inside, the angle you take makes it so that he can't be right. If he decides to come up the field, the angle you take makes it so that he can't be right. So you're equipping offensive linemen with tools that they can work with versus saying, I have this one way to do it, and if that one way doesn't work, then that play's probably not going to work. Yeah. And so to me, that has a lot to do with play call, play design, all of those types of things help develop an offensive line. And so if you can attack a guy sooner at the line of scrimmage in pass protection, and especially if you can get your hands on him, you have more time to protect. You have more space to recover if you lose. But if you lose right at the point of attack, then the quarterback's probably going to get hit. Yep. So if you can make that the contact 1 or 2 yards off the ball, you have more time to recover. There's more space for you to get back in on the block if you get beaten or to give up a little bit of an edge. So that's more time for the quarterback to get the ball off.
As far as the personnel that we're going to see out there, does it feel to you, we talked about this yesterday, that it feels like it's a battle for 2 spots? You know who your left tackle is. Mm-hmm. We assume Zabel's going to be your starting left guard. And Abe Lucas, when healthy, is your right tackle. So it feels like it's your right guard and your center. And that's where the battle is. Is that how you see it?
That's how I see it. And, I got to see Christian Haynes take a few reps at center. And just, I've always been the dude that's like, hey, man, I need a PhD in what you're doing.
Right.
But considering the makeup of the team, you got to get other people, backups and depth and all that kind of stuff, consider injuries and things like that. And he looked really good there. He looked pretty explosive. The thing I was just telling Dave for both centers is that when teams decide to go to a bear front where they have 5 down linemen, so they have both guards and the center covered, that's where you got to earn your pay because it's just you and that dude. Yeah. And so those two dudes, a little bit lighter, are going to have to be really athletic and stout and be up for the fight in those situations. And then at right guard, Haynes has been taking reps over there. Bradford has been taking some reps over there. And, Bradford, to me, like, I was watching him in particular because the dude has everything that it takes to be a pretty, really good guard when he wants to be. And so I just want to see what his mentality is. Like, if he's up to fight to win the spot, or is he waiting for them to make the decision if he's going to have the spot or not? I want someone to go take it. Christian Haynes looks like he's always trying to take it.
Right.
And I want to see that from Bradford, too.
Who do you think? I'm glad you said that because Dave and I were talking about him saying he's got the ability to be dominant. We've seen it.
Yep.
And we had somebody texting, he stinks. You don't know what you're looking at. And I'm glad you said this because you're our offensive line guru. Is he the most, as far as, tools to work with?
Right.
Does he have is he the most likely if he had the right mindset to dominate that spot? Or do you feel like
I
somebody
think
that's
so.
got more?
The thing I like about here's the thing I like about the two guys and their difference is that Haynes is really athletic, a little bit lighter in his lower body, but he does things that veterans do, like the way the hand fighting that he does, slapping guys' hands down and like repositioning his hands. And then I love the way he's always trying to finish. Like if you're not always trying to finish, then you shouldn't play offensive line. If you're just going to go like, hey, I got my helmet to the outside number, hit the guy for 2 steps and let him go, then you ain't helping nobody.
Right.
And Christian Haynes you can see him 3 and 4 and 5 yards down the field trying to finish blocks. That's a big part of it. And then when I look at Bradford has all the tools and the strength and the size to be just physically dominant if he makes his mind up that he wants to be that every time. Not, 4 out of 8 plays.
Right.
And then those other 4 plays, he has a false start and he gave up a sack and a holding call. Like, that's just a lack of being locked in. If he can get locked in and play that physical style of football, then they have a good problem to have. You just have to decide what style you like. And so I do think that Bradford, they are 2 different types of players, but both of them can be the guy that owns the spot. It just depends on who decides that I'm taking it versus saying I'm just going to do this and then they're going to make a decision. You made the decision for them.
Big Ray, always good to talk to you, man.
Absolutely.
Great to see you.
Yeah.
You look great.
Hey, I'm trying to get like slim and fit and like I can wear like an extra large shirt versus trying to find, like I want to like buy off the rack, like for one time in my life.
You know what I'm saying?
Order? Dude, I'm like trying to find anything bigger than 3X or 3XLT. It's very limited. You know what I'm saying? So like you can't have all the style and all this other kind of stuff because you just got to get what you can get.
Right.
And so it's been kind of cool to be able to go into a store and be like, hey, I can wear that 2X.
I remember in the O-line, the only store there was a big and tall shop in the mall. In Bellevue.
Yeah, in
and
Bellevue.
everybody, all the offensive linemen wore the same clothes.
Well, my first year, we went to Denver, and it was Kaufman's Big and Tall in Denver, and he had a dude set up at the hotel, and so. For whatever reason, when I came in, I was the dude he talked to, and he said, hey, man, if you can get these guys to come over to the store, order these clothes, like, we'll give you a discount. So I'm like rolling up everybody. I'd never been to a Big and Tall Man store. Dude, I bought everything I could find in the store. They were, like, sending me boxes of clothes, like, all kinds of stuff. So I couldn't wait till we played Denver every year.
Yeah.
And then they ended up opening it up at Kaufman's here in Seattle. But, yeah, when you're that big, dude, and you're not trying to custom order everything, it's really hard.
Yeah.
And then you wear a size 16 shoe, so you can't get all the cool shoes.
Your selection is limited, man.
You do all right, right?
I'm trying, man.
You do all right.
I told the thing last year. I'm like, dude, I don't care if my pants match or my shoes. Like, as long as I have clothes on, I have clothes on. You know what I'm saying?
They cover your body.
You're not picky. You're not picky.
It's no style points. It's just it's basic. Like, this is functioning.
Yeah, this is functional. I don't.